Studies show anywhere from 2 to 4% of those in prison nationwide were wrongfully convicted. One group is now trying to do something about that. Oklahoma is one of the last states to start the Innocent Project. In tonight's To The Point, 2 News anchor Russ McCaskey sits down with the dean of Oklahoma City University's School of Law to find out more.
Happy today to have Larry Hellman with us. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're from Oklahoma City University Law School, and you got a great program that you're starting up. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with some of the students.
Well, this is an Oklahoma Innocence Project. It's a statewide program to teach students skills that law schools historically have not been so great about. And the skills are going to be focused on identifying and rectifying wrongful convictions, that is, where an innocent person is actually in prison and the true perpetrator is at large.
Yeah, and we've had some cases, a couple death row cases, in fact, and John Grissom wrote the one book on Innocent Man,
yes,
and so forth. So we know that there have been some in the past. Right. When you start diving into this, do you think that you're going to find that there have been some cases that are currently right now on the books where people are serving time where they're innocent?
It's very likely. Now, we don't believe that the vast majority of convictions are erroneous or incorrect, but we know from national statistics that between 2 and 5% of serious convictions, that is in capital cases, murders and rapes and sexual assaults, we know that over a 30-year period, between 2 and 5% of those have actually resulted in exonerations. And that's a disturbing number.
Sure, absolutely. And some states have an Innocent Project. Oklahoma never has, correct?
That's correct. We're one of the last states with a substantial population to have such a program, even though we've had a good number of exonerations in our state. So we'll be joining about 50 other innocence clinics, mostly affiliated with other law schools. We'll be gaining the benefit of their experience and taking it from there.
Obviously, the state kind of benefits when they see where maybe they've gone wrong with some of these investigations, but it's also tremendous for the students to get this kind of experience because they're realizing post-conviction how they can look at some cases maybe in a different way.
Well, absolutely, and they see how our legal system works up close and personal. And again, I said they learn skills such as fact investigation, learning how to analyze scientific evidence, learning how to interrogate or interview witnesses and find evidence that maybe wasn't found in the original trial. And those are skills that will be transferable to any field of practice.
All right, okay, so you have, how many students are going to be doing this? It's a 4-credit course, correct?
Absolutely. The students we'll have 8 students a semester in the clinic actually getting credit. There'll be a volunteer group that will be assisting in reviewing requests for assistance. We're already receiving those, and we expect to be overwhelmed with them.
Right.
And the students who get into the clinic have to apply and be selected by the professor, and they have to have had a prerequisite course, which is being offered right now this summer, called wrongful convictions, so that they become familiar with the patterns that the prior cases have exposed.
Yeah. Who do you think gets the most benefit, the students or the state with the legal system, or is it just a good thing for everybody?
This is a win-win-win deal. Number one, some terrible injustices can be corrected. Number two, the public benefits by helping us find out that a crime we thought was solved really isn't, and we need to find the true perpetrator. I mean, nationally, we know of over 90 cases where someone committed serious crimes when an innocent person was already in prison for something that person had done before. So there's a public safety element is there. And of course the students are going to benefit, and the victims of these wrongful convictions.
You know, and I think that, you know, anytime you go into a prison, everyone says that you know, they're wrongfully convicted or whatever. But, you know, there are some cases, and I think that you kind of hit on something that everyone, I think, in Oklahoma wants to have a legal system that's very fair, and they want to put the right person behind bars. And so even though maybe a case seemed to have been solved before, it's going to be better for everyone if they can actually find the right person.
Absolutely. I think the end game of all this is that the public's trust and confidence in our criminal justice system will be justifiably improved, and it will be fair for everybody. No prosecutor wants to convict the wrong person, and where mistakes have been made, it's often the prosecutors who take the lead in rectifying them.
All right, Larry Hellman with Oklahoma City University School of Law. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much, Russ.
Good luck with that program.